Hey guys, this is the Overthinker and welcome to the channel. Now today, I want to do a video on the Detroit Lions draft. Particularly this video is going to be on the 6th round receiver, Travis Fulgham. And yes, it is pronounced Fulgham. So yeah, before this draft, I had never heard of this receiver named Travis Fulgham. And obviously, like everyone else, when I seen this pick, I went out on Twitter, on Google, on ESPN, on YouTube, everything to try and figure out what this guy is, and I found out he is the first offensive player to ever be drafted out of Old Dominion, which is interesting. He pretty much was a touchdown machine for them. He scored 8 touchdowns as a sophomore, and then 9 touchdowns as a senior. Looks like his sophomore season, he probably was more of a specialist. But yeah, his senior season, he scored 9 touchdowns, 17.2 yards per catch, which is actually pretty good. I mean, considering the offensive line play to go along with the quarterback they had, it was pretty impressive to see what he was able to do at Old Dominion. And we also signed an undrafted free agent named Jonathan Duhart, who was his teammate, and he's actually 6'5" and I think around 220 pounds. So he's actually, I think, is probably a little more of a jump ball specialist. That's what it kind of looked like on tape to me. But that's pretty good for, an undrafted free agent. He actually posted over 1,000 yards too last season, so that's pretty impressive. So one of the first things I looked at when I was looking at Travis Fulgham was, the speed and all that, looking at, what's his 40 time, what's his vertical and all that kind of stuff. And he, honestly, athletically, he didn't jump off the charts in any of these measurements. And I think on tape, he looks faster. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say he looks like he has elite speed. I don't think so. And I think in terms of speed, he looks a lot like Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is fast enough to be a really good receiver, but you have to combine other things, I think, along with that speed to become a great receiver, which is something we need to see Kenny Golladay do, work on that route running, obviously. But Kenny Golladay has great hands. And that's another thing about Travis Fulgham. He has incredible hands. He instinctively, almost every time the ball is thrown his way, he will put his hands out away from his body to make the catch. Now, that is something you don't really see with every high caliber college receiver. And that is something that's very important in the NFL, because we all know in the NFL, those passing windows are very small. So you want to put your hands out there to get the ball and keep it away from the defenders. So yeah, that's something I really liked on tape. He instinctively does that. It's not like he does it sometimes when the defender's right there. He does it even when there's no defender. He puts his hands up to catch the ball every time. And another thing I've seen when watching some film on him is that he does a pretty good job of run blocking. And it looks like he puts forth a lot of effort. And someone like that, I think, is going to become a pretty good blocker in the NFL. If in college he's putting forth that much effort. You don't really see that a whole lot with star receivers in college. This guy definitely likes to block. And one thing I didn't like when I was looking at the ESPN report on there about our draft pick, they basically said that he's a limited upside player, basically relies on his hands and jumping ability to catch everything, doesn't separate at all. And I did not see that at all. Really I watched the entire game versus Virginia Tech. Dude gets open. He can definitely run routes. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a great route runner in the NFL to start, but I think he definitely has the ability to get better. And I think he has a good burst coming out of his breaks. And I think that's something that's pretty important, because if he gets into the NFL with a good receiver coach, they're going to teach him how to run those routes. And I think he's going to be pretty good. Because in college, he showed a decent amount of promise when it comes to running those in routes. Now, does that mean he's going to be a slot receiver? I don't know. Probably not. But even to be an outside receiver in this league, I think you have to be able to run at least a few routes. And I think that's something we need to see Kenny Golladay do also. Obviously, we want to be able to see Kenny Golladay run that comeback route, that quarter route, the 15-yard out, stuff like that. If you can learn how to do that as a big receiver that can run, you can become a very, very, very highly paid player. And yeah, when I watched that Virginia Tech game, it looked like he was one of the better players on the field. And also I watched a couple other games, and games where Old Dominion was not getting blown out. Travis Fulgham was on fire. He was unstoppable. He was the big play receiver on the field in those games. So he is definitely a guy who has a really competitive edge and wants to win on every play. And especially games that are close, he's going to be the guy you want to go to, I think. And to get what we have here out of a 6th round pick is pretty incredible. And I'm going to make kind of a bold prediction, but I honestly don't think it's that bold. I think a lot of people are thinking this right now. I'm saying that this guy, Travis Fulgham, is going to be a starter on this team by year's end. He's going to take Marvin Jones' job. I don't think Marvin Jones is a reliable receiver. There's times when he is really good, but there's times when he just disappears on offense, and I don't know why. Nobody knows why. People joke about it all the time. He shows up for half the season and disappears. But I think Fulgham's definitely going to take his spot, and I don't think he's going to let it go. And I think he'll be a better receiver, and I also think he has a lot more upside. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got here. 6th round pick for us. Outstanding pick. He should not have been there in the 6th round. I'm pretty sure he should have been a 4th round, maybe a 3rd rounder, based on what other people were saying before the draft. The nice thing about these mock drafts is you can go back and see what people were mocking before the draft actually happened. And this receiver should have been long gone before the 6th round. So this is an outstanding pick by Bob Quinn. Pretty much just going best player available, I think, at this point. I think receiver was a need, but we needed to get other things, and we addressed a lot of needs in this draft, and I will definitely go into that in another video very soon here. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you in the next one.